Downtown Bruno. We'll be here very, very shortly. Very shortly. All right, guys. And he is in the house. It is one of them nights out there, guys. We have been going absolutely freaking crazy the last 24 hours. Talked to Bruno yesterday several times. Talked to him again today. And sent him the links and everything again. And anyway, long story short, somehow, some way, it did not work. And then all of a sudden here about 20, 30 minutes ago, it clicked and everything started working perfect, just like it was supposed to. And like Bruno would always say, Mama says, it bees that way sometimes. All right, guys, you have seen our next guest that is coming on here in just a few seconds. He has been on Young Rock. You've seen him in WWE. You have seen him in USWA. You've also seen him in CWA, Power Pro, and numerous other organizations around the country and around the world. It is none other than Downtown Bruno, guys. We have an intro video for him, and I'm going to play that. And somebody's in the house. Liza is in the house all the way over from Australia. I'm sure he'll say, "Good day, mate." But anyway, the music that you're going to hear in this video before I bring Bruno on was created by Liza, and he's over in Australia. Matter of fact, I would like to remind everybody out there, guys, be sure you sign up and visit Liza's Pro Wrestling Fan Group, guys. It's facebook.com/groups/Liza's Pro Wrestling Fan Group /. All right, we are back, and we are going to come right on into it. As soon as I get done with this video, I'll see you. And as soon as we get done with this video, I am going to bring Bruno in. Again, I do want to give credit to the music, and that was done by Liza over in Australia, guys. Here's the video.
Yo, it's Downtown Bruno, the one and only. I heard about the show Wayne's World, so crank it up, let the music flow. Downtown Bruno's in the house, let the party grow. Got a story to tell, gotta make it roll. With a microphone in my hand, I take control. Wayne's World, party on top, wrestling. Downtown Bruno's in the house, crank it up, crank it up. Wayne's World, party on top, wrestling. Because it's Wayne's World, party on top, wrestling. I heard about the show Wayne's World, so crank it up, let the music flow. Downtown Bruno's in the house, let the party grow. Got a story to tell, gotta make it roll. With a microphone in my hand, I take control. Wayne's World, party on top, wrestling. Because it's 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 Wayne's World, party on top, wrestling. Whoa. Wrestling. Whoa. Because it's Wayne's World, party on top, wrestling. Whoa.
All right, without further ado out there, guys, it is the one, the only Downtown Bruno. There he is Hall of Famer, Memphis Wrestling Hall of Fame 2021 inductee out there, guys. It is Downtown Bruno. Welcome to the show, Bruno. Hey, I'm a Downtown Bruno guy. I'm a Team Wayne guy.
There you go. And, hey, great video. Great video. Well, I'm sorry, that's all the time we have. Good night, ladies and gentlemen.
Right. Like I said, it was about 2.5 minutes long. It was a little long, but it worked out.
That was a lot of fun. No, I'm glad. I wonder if everybody knows that me and your host there, Greg Wayne, we practically grew up together. We've known each other for, 40 years now, I guess?
Yeah, well, ever since you started back in Memphis, back in 77, 78, something like that.
Well, 79 is when I broke
79, yeah. I knew it somewhere along in there.
So, it's we go way, way back, and, I just a little trivia for the listeners, the viewers. Greg's oldest child, his oldest daughter, Casey, I held her in my arms like 2 days after she was born.
Yeah.
In a beer joint up in Raleigh, in Northeast Memphis. And Casey and me are close. I'm close with all the Greg's kids, but me and Casey have a special bond. We always have, and we still do.
Funny story on that. I was in Alabama, in Birmingham, matter of fact. Had a spot I had to go down there and do. And Jimmy Golden, of course, I know you know Jimmy. Him and Robert were working together.
Robert Fuller.
Yeah, Robert Fuller, yeah. And anyway, long story short, we was in Birmingham, and Daddy had already been hurt, and this, that, and the other, and so forth. And they was presenting Ken and Danny with a trophy. And anyway, long story short, I got hit with a baseball bat and took a hell of a bump up against the desk, almost knocked the desk over and everything. But that's the day that Casey was born. I was in Birmingham working. So,
hey, as long as you weren't in Birmingham the day she was conceived.
No. No, I was in Florida then.
Where was Vicky?
Probably on her back, I would think. I told Vicky there had to be something in the air, and she said, yeah, her legs. All right, we're going to get the comments right here just for a second. Laza over in Australia says, good day all, greetings from Brisbane, Queensland, Australia. He also says, with Downtown Bruno on the show, I just wanted to say to everyone, knock, knock, who's there? Who? Glad you're excited too.
Hey, I'll tell you, it's funny. I've never been to Australia, but Queensland, which I don't know anything about Australia. I don't know if that's a huge part of it, a small part. I don't know. But that's where they filmed season 2 of Young Rock because of the COVID. Hollywood was shut down. So all the actors and crew and cast and everything filmed season 2 of Young Rock in Queensland, Australia. True story.
Wow. Well, that was a good fact to know. I didn't know that.
Yeah, and I was there in Zoom form every week.
Wow.
I was the executive consultant for my character and for Memphis Wrestling. So every single week I was, by proxy in Australia, but sitting right here in my home area. Now, I wasn't in my house. They actually paid for me a hotel room every week right in North Mississippi where I live. Because at that time, my Wi-Fi was spotty. Wi-Fi was still in its infancy.
Right.
Now, obviously, it's really good. But then I had to have a hotel. So I was being paid by NBC Universal to sit in a hotel room and drink beer and out wrestling, which is pretty much what I'm doing right now.
Right. Lazo's got some questions and stuff here for you in just a few minutes. I'm going to go ahead and get down to all the comments real quick. That way we can get all this out of the way. It says, thanks for the shout out in my Facebook group and music. Greg, humbly appreciate it. He also says, to you, Bruno, he says, good day.
Good day.
So there it is. And he says, I'm 38, so longer than I have been alive. And he said, and PJ over in Thailand. We got one person over in Australia, and the other one is in Thailand right now. And that is PJ. She says, hi, Greg, Downtown Bruno, and Laza. And Laza also gives a shout out to Nova Rain, which is Casey.
Right.
And Laza says, good day, PJ. Now.
So does Bruno.
And so does Bruno, yeah. Lauza says Young Rock was filmed Gold Coast, I believe, in Queensland. Some of the local indie pro wrestlers on the Queensland scene were in the early seasons of Young Rock.
Yeah, I believe that because when they were filming here in Memphis, I got a lot of our local indie wrestlers booked on Young Rock. Some
Right.
of them played extras. Some of them played a version of, a superstar. One of my dear friends named Brandon Ray, I got him on there, and he played Adrian Adonis. My other good friend, Golden Boy Greg Anthony, played Dick Murdoch, and
Right.
we had quite a few of our, local guys in the area on there. So I can, obviously the same thing happened over yonder. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, Chavo Guerrero, who was the actual wrestling, physical coordinator for Young Rock, knew
Right.
some of those guys over in Australia. That's how they got booked.
Well, that is great. The good thing is some of the local talent still can get to work and get to experience that experience.
Right.
And that's part of learning. You don't just step into the business, and this sort of leads into some of the questions that Laza has.
Yeah.
So it's one of the things, you don't just step into the business and become great overnight. It takes years and years and years sometimes. Some people have a natural ability to just like flipping a switch, sort of like Jimmy Valiant. If anybody was ever talking to him in the back or anything, it's like, "Hey, brother, how you doing?" He's real low keyed, but as soon as he steps through that door with that curtain, whoo, mercy, daddy! I mean, he explodes. He's a completely different person.
Yeah. Well,
And
same way.
and
Dusty Rhodes was the same way.
Dusty was the exact same way. He sure was. So it's one of them things where you learn as you go. So Laza says he has all of the Young Rock seasons on his Google account. So it means, I guess, he downloaded them, I guess.
Fantastic.
And he also says, cool story, Bruno, with Young Rock being filmed in Queensland with yourself, with the Zoom, etc. All right. One of the questions for Laza, let's see, for Bruno. Managing legends. You've worked with some of the most iconic wrestlers, from Sid Justice to Kamala. Who was your favorite to manage, and why?
Well, I really, honestly, that's a good question, but I really don't have a good answer for it because it had nothing to do with, okay, me and Sid were very good friends. Kamala I had my issues with, but I mean, we had a good run with Ultimate Warrior. So we're not talking about personalities or personal. We're talking about business. The best run I ever had in the business was with John Gonzalez, because we was main event every night on the 8 Towns with Undertaker, who was the main guy in the organization at the time, WWE at the time. So the best run, the most lengthy run I ever had was with John Gonzalez. But when I was with Sid, we were main event with Hogan, which was, very good. Kamala, we were main event with Ultimate Warrior, which sucked because he couldn't work. And he was, hard to do business with. But, it was like I traveled with Brooklyn Brawler, Steve Lombardi. Me and him are closest friends in the world. So he was Kim Chi for Kamala in WWF. He would wrestle as Brooklyn Brawler early on the card and then come back and put on the outfit.
Do double duty.
Yeah. But we, anytime we did a thing later, when he wrestled somebody, Vince would have me manage him because he knew he called us the Daily Double because we were always there, So I enjoyed my time with him. And, I mean, there were certain, and I don't even want to ever get into negativity. There were certain people that I was put with that I just couldn't absolutely stand, and I'll just leave it at that. But, that's, we're out here to be positive and upbeat, so I'm going to leave that part out.
All right. His next question was transition to refereeing. You transitioned from managing to refereeing. How different was the experience for you? In which role did you enjoy more, the managing or the refereeing?
Well, the managing for sure. Here's the thing. My refereeing in WWF didn't last that long. And it was nothing, Vince, or nobody was upset with me or anything about it like that. What it is, as Greg knows, and some people might know, I refereed a lot right before I went to WWE, WWF at the time. as a manager, I was refereeing here in USWA. I wasn't managing here anymore. I was the main referee.
You was the head
Now,
referee, yeah.
yeah. So it's an entirely different type of refereeing. Up in WWF, WWE, you wear an earpiece and you're very structured and everything. Here in Memphis, wrestling in most any territory, but especially Memphis, where I refereed mostly, a lot of ad-libbing. A lot of times referee can call spots or whatever. Up there, it's all laid out. We got it all figured out. You just go out there and do what we've got. Whatever. Whole different ball game. So I never could adapt to that. I damn sure couldn't adapt to an earpiece. And that just wasn't the way I was brought up in the business. Don't forget about that time. I was already in the business like 25 years or more. So it's hard to retrain yourself. So the referee thing didn't last very long. It was very hard. But then I was put in a backstage position, which, lasted a long time. I'm still with WWE on a different type of deal now, but I'm just, long story short, yeah, I appreciate every opportunity they gave me, but the refereeing thing that wasn't the way I was trained in the business. And they all understood that. You can't just take a guy that's been doing this since the 70s and expect him to adapt to the 90s or the 2000s, whatever it was.
Yeah. Speaking of refereeing in the WWE, you did a match. I think it was a bunch of women in a pool of something, and you went as Hervina or something like that. Because I just happened to run across the clip on YouTube the other day, and I was like, "Oh shit, that's Bruno."
Yeah, I was the world champion.
Women's champion.
Nobody's even on the Wikipedia thing. I mean, you can't nobody deny I was a world champion in WWF at the time for one day. For real.
Hey, one day is one day.
Yeah, I mean, but you know what the deal was? It was Stacy the Cat Carter, who was Jerry King Lawler's wife at the time.
Yeah.
What it was, Jacqueline, who I've wrestled numerous times in the Memphis organization. She's, an athlete. She's stout, kind of snug in the ring. All right, they wanted to get the championship on her. But they knew that Stacy was not an athlete. She wasn't a rough girl. She was, she was very pretty. And I'm sure still is. I haven't seen her lately. But, she was basically eye candy. Jacqueline would have blacked her eye or, hurt her or whatever. Not intentionally, out of meanness.
Not intentionally, but that's just the way Jackie was.
Yeah. So basically they just put me in there to be a transitional champion so they could put the belt on Jacqueline. That's basically what it was, which was fine with me.
All right, we'll go ahead and move on into the next question that Laza had. It said, Memphis wrestling. Memphis wrestling has such a rich history. What was it like working there in the 1980s, and how do you think it influenced the rest of the wrestling world?
I'm going to tell you, Memphis is my home. It's my home organization, when it was still a territory. And a lot of territories had a lot of influence on the business, how it came even to this day. True enough. And I know I'm biased because it's my home, and this is where I got my break, where I cut my teeth or whatever. But I really believe that Memphis wrestling was the most influential territory in the country. I mean, there's a lot of influential territories. I'm not downgrading or denigrating any other territory, but look at the talent that started in Memphis or got their first break in Memphis. And I'm not just talking about myself. Thank the Lord and thank Jerry King Lawler for letting that happen to me. But look at that. Hulk Hogan got his first break in Memphis.
Sure did.
I mean, that's a fact. He'll tell you that, if you ever see him. I mean, Paul Orndorff got his first break in Memphis. We consider, do we have till 2 a.m? Because I can tell you how many times.
Yeah, right.
Sid Justice, Sid Vicious, Sid, God bless him, he just passed away. Got his initial break in Memphis. His initial start, at least, in Memphis.
Well, the Rock and Roll Express did the same thing.
Rock and Roll
As far as like tag teams and stuff.
Absolutely. Rock and Roll Express, Jimmy Hart, the Moondogs. I mean,
the list goes on and on and on.
Yeah, that went on to the worldwide level. Now, don't get me wrong by any means. A lot of good guys came out of Minneapolis too, and out of Tampa, and out of Dallas, and San Antonio. Mm-hmm. I'm not, and Charlotte, and I can go on and on. I'm not by any means, putting down any other organization or any other territory or any other promotion. But I'm just telling you, by and large, I would think the biggest percentage of guys, like, okay, the initial WrestleMania, King Kong Bundy, he was a Memphis guy. Okay. Bob Orton Jr., he was not a full-time, but he was in Memphis. Paul Orndorff, Memphis guy. Hulk Hogan, Memphis guy. And that's the main event right there, you know. And Junkyard Doghead came through as Big Daddy Ritter before he went on to become JYD in the Louisiana team. So many guys that was in WrestleMania 1 were Memphis guys, you know. I mean, it's a huge deal.
Well, a majority of just about all the wrestlers at one point or time did come through Memphis.
Right.
Now, as far as Hulk Hogan goes, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, he came down through here and got his green as goose shit, so to speak, and then left here, I believe, and went to AWA for Gagne for a little bit, and then he went on into WWF at that time, if I'm not mistaken.
I'm not sure the wherewithal of it. I know Hogan went to WWF. Right,
not EF.
Yeah, as a bad guy. And Freddie Blassie was his manager back after he left Memphis. I think the AWA came later. I could be wrong. But I know
it may have been later. I might have my facts. I just remember AWA.
Yeah, but I know Hogan went to WWF when Vince McMahon Sr. was running it. And Freddie Blassie was his manager. Hogan was a bad guy. And he had an angle at that time with Andre the Giant. And he also had matches with Bob Backlund and Tony Atlas too. Then I'm not sure when he ended up in AWA or where else he went. But then when he eventually, yes, ended up in AWA. And then when Vince, you know, took over WWF, Hogan came back over there and they pushed him to the moon. He beat the Iron Sheik in record time. And it was like somebody strapped a rocket ship to him. He not only took himself to the moon and then WWE to the moon, effort to the moon, he sent the business on the trajectory that it never came down from. And it's all, I'm telling you, Hulk Hogan, I don't give a damn what anybody says. He is like Elvis Presley and the Beatles put together. He was everything. Nobody drew more money for a longer period of time and a more extended period of time worldwide than Hulk Hogan. Nobody. And I don't give a damn. And anybody that you talk to, I guarantee if you talk to Undertaker, The Rock, Stone Cold Steve Austin, any of these, John Cena, whoever you want to mention, they will tell you the same thing. Hogan he's the one, period. End of story.
Well, this is going to be the last question from Laza. Now, my response to him was, I think he would answer this question, probably joke at first, but would answer truthfully. So this was my response to him when he sent me the question in my email. It says, not sure if this is appropriate to ask Bruno on the show. I want to run it by you. He said his question is, any advice for people who are interested in working backstage in pro wrestling? My passion is pro wrestling promotion, promoting pro wrestling booking, matchmaking, creative, etc. And that is his question. What is your advice for somebody wanting to get into the business, and how should they start, pretty much, is what I guess what he's asking.
Yeah, well, I'm not going to make a joke. It's too easy. I'll be truthful. The backstage thing in a major, to make a living at it, major promotion or whatever, you need to have some sort of credentials as far as you know how to do lighting, or you know how to be a cameraman and you went to school for that, or you know the technical thing, the IT thing, or you know how to operate I don't even know all these things. That's not my end of it. But like the guy that makes the sound go louder, or you know, whatever, all the keyboard stuff, computer stuff, whatever. That you got to have credentials. You just can't walk in and say, I want to be a lighting guy. You walk in, these guys, and I'm friends with a lot of them in WWE. Jonathan Blandon, Brian Ouellette, Bob Levy, all these guys. All of them this one did lighting on NYPD Blue or whatever. The other one, he did
Mm-hmm.
the technical thing on Search for Tomorrow or whatever it is. So you know
Right.
what I mean? You got to have credentials. You just can't walk in and say I'm here to be backstage. It don't work that way. You got to have, and it's just like any other job. You put in an application and maybe there's an opening. They need a cameraman. Well, I was a cameraman for the local news over at in Detroit, where I'm from. Or, the guy would say it, whatever. Or you'd say, well, I used to do college football. I think you get the gist of what I'm saying. That's how you get in, by serving a purpose.
Well, the thing is the way I look at it. Of course, I was sort of born into it, so
Right.
that's a little bit different. However, if my advice to Laza would be, if you want to get into the business, contact a promoter and help set the ring up, help paper the town, help publicize, help do something, whatever it is he might need you to do. If you know how to do it, then you've got your foot in the door.
Well, yeah, that's true. In other words, obviously, you don't start in the WWE.
No.
Period. But if there's a promotion over in Australia where Laza is from, yeah, like Greg said, absolutely help put up the ring. See if the promoter needs got to sell tickets or sell programs
or pictures or whatever.
Whatever. And that's how you get in. And then you learn the business as you go. And maybe one day the referee don't show up, and Laza's been around the promotion enough that he feels like he knows how to referee it, or they might teach him, and he might get in there and referee, and maybe he does a great job, and then it progresses from there. And then I'm just making this big long scenario, but I'm just trying to encourage him. If WWE has a tour in Australia one day and they're using local wrestlers to be extras or background people or whatever, maybe Laza, if he's already refereeing for the small organization, maybe they'll let him have a tryout for the large organization, and maybe he does well. And every time WWE comes to Australia, they use him. Or if they think he's that damn good, they might hire him full time. I'm just saying, you never know.
And we have another person in now. It is Al Tuttle. He says, "Hello, Greg, PJ, Laza, and Bruno."
Hello.
One of our buddies. He watches Randy Hill's show quite a bit, and he's usually here on mine. Usually sitting in a car or something. It's supposed to be working. But anyway, I do appreciate him being here. We are going to show a video. If I can find it.
I'm plugging my phone up because it was dying.
Yeah, go ahead.
I had it completely charged, but I guess when you use the video, it uses more electricity or whatever the word is. But I'm back. It's plugged in.
Right. This is the debut of Downtown Bruno. I think. Yes.
But I hope you can fast forward through some of it.
I'm going to.
World Super Heavyweight Championship.
Back
brother.
up.
And these people be greatly interested in, okay? Being downtown Pittsburgh. These people be
Right here.
interested in, okay? All right? This man is incredible, all right? And he made me such an offer. Okay, I just can't. I want to take and bring him out of here. Hey, come out of here, man.
They were both in stunned silence.
Yeah.
Come on here, brother. Hey, this is downtown Bruno land for us.
Your first appearance on TV here in Memphis.
I've heard about downtown Bruno.
Baby, I am downtown Bruno. Hey, I want to tell you something. This man is so bad. This man is fine. They were going to use him. They were going to use this man for the U.S. Steel Building I-beams downtown Pittsburgh, baby.
That's a good-looking son of a bitch,
as a
wasn't it?
wrestler, because this is my friend.
Yeah, it
And
was.
this is my first time here in Memphis, brother, for the CWA, and I tell you what.
I had the one
Everybody
where
in
you
the
was
South is
belching
gonna
and
see
stuff,
who
but
the
I
man is,
didn't
me, and the
download
man
it.
behind the man, and there's other men,
Yeah,
brother.
that's
There's
what
other
I-
men
after
who's
that,
like
I
this
said,
man.
I'll never
He's gonna
drink
get
beer on
Jerry to
Friday
clean low.
morning.
He's gonna hurt him. He's gonna be dissing on him something fierce, brother. And you want to see somebody even bigger than this man? Do you believe that this
It gives people an idea how I look.
Yeah, I know
40
that there
years.
are people bigger than, but nobody that I think that you know.
Show him, brother.
He's from downtown Pittsburgh, downtown Bruno.
Downtown Pittsburgh, downtown Bruno. You want to
See,
know
I can only
something else
see
from
pictures.
42
I
Ken
can't
Boulevard,
hear it.
baby?
Is it-
Downtown Pittsburgh.
Is it
Show a
actually
little
playing the
bit.
video.
You want to see somebody big as this man? Listen.
Okay, fine. Bring him out.
Hey, Goliath, come on out, baby. Come on out,
Now,
baby.
who is this that you are
Yeah, I've
bringing
got the
out?
volume up as high as I can get
Mighty
it.
Goliath, baby.
Yeah, on mine, I can
414
only
pounds,
see,
7
like,
foot tall,
clips,
walking,
you know,
talking,
pictures. I
roping,
can't hear
stomping,
it. That's
downtown
right.
graveyard destruction, baby. This man, I found this man headbutting a garbage dumpster on 42 Boulevard, downtown Pittsburgh, baby. And he made a bigger dent in the dumpster than the dumpster made in his head, baby. I said, I can make some money if I make this man into a professional, top-rated, talented professional wrestler. And now he's got the World Super Heavyweight Championship, brother. And we are the champions. Look, 1, 2, 3. I got so many belts here. Everybody in this audience can hold up their pants for a year, brother. We got belts, we got titles, and we won this from Abdullah the Butcher in San Juan, Puerto Rico, baby.
Hey, I
and
can't comment on it. I can't hear it.
Nobody's big as this man,
You know.
and nobody's big as this man. This is my dream team.
You're
baby.
talking about
My
having
brotherhood.
belts
See, I'm
for a
expanding
year.
My brotherhood. I had a brotherhood
Everybody in the
downtown
audience.
Pittsburgh, see?
Oh, okay.
Brotherhood. We had an escort service, see, for ladies. It came out in the evening. And I'm expanding the brotherhood from downtown Pittsburgh all through the South. Professional wrestling right here.
So that's where it all came from, was from the Brotherhood in Pittsburgh.
The
in
brotherhood
there.
in Pittsburgh, baby. The downtown connection.
You got a couple of bookends there. There's no question about that.
Hey, what kind of nerve is it that these guys can come out during my time? My time.
Hey, you are introduced. People know who Downtown Bruno is. They've had a look at the World Super Heavyweight Champion. They, of course, know Big Bubba, and if he's a friend of yours, I guess that tells us all about
Oh, yeah. That means we all bad, baby.
Yeah.
Rock it.
That's right. Okay, well, you have got a tag match coming up here
No problem.
in which Goliath and Big Bubba will be partners.
The
Let's
Mighty
get them
Goliath. 1,000 pounds of twisted steel and a little bit of sex appeal. Oh, yeah, baby. Get it right.
Okay, you saw.
I like it. All right, we are going to get back on to, if I can figure out how to get off of this. It ain't doing it. Delete. Now,
Well, yo, it's downtown Bruno, the one.
that ain't what it's not queued up right for some reason. Now I'm having technical difficulties. Oh, there we go. Now
I can
I'm
see
back.
you.
All right, now there you are. All
All
right.
of a sudden now it's on
let
the
me
top of my head. What happened there?
split screen.
Okay.
Okay, now
There we
we are. Okay, now we're back to normal.
Back to normal.
Well, see, when Randy or somebody else you're doing other people's shows, there's somebody in the background doing all the shit and clicking everything. I have to click everything and try to queue everything up and do everything.
Well,
It's
here's what
not
we'll
exactly.
do. How about this? We'll finish answering questions and talk to each other and talk about stuff. Then after I have to say farewell, then maybe you could show those other videos and talk about them afterwards. And I'll just talk about them before. This way we don't have to worry about.
Well, I'm going to go ahead and show one more video, and this is where you were on set at the Young Rock in the foyer, and you was meeting all the crew and everything. So,
All right.
well, it's about 3 minutes long. Here we go.
That'd be great.
I arrived here in our city of Memphis, and I know a lot of the crews from Nashville. You'll appreciate this story. Nashville, I didn't have a place to live when I was 15. I arrived here in Memphis when I was 24. Didn't have a place to live. Didn't have any money, didn't have a place to live. When I was 15, I was broke. When I was 24, I was broke. Didn't have a place to live. There was one man who took me in when I was 15. And he also took me in when I was 24. That man is one of my best friends. He is from the crazy wild world that we love of pro wrestling. But he's been one of my best friends, and again, especially when I needed it, he was there. So what a real honor. I want to introduce you guys to that man. He is Downtown Bruno, right here. Downtown Bruno. So I was telling Bruno, so Bruno has been so as Notch and everyone, Jen and everybody, Bruno keeps calling, hey, what can I do? What can I do? Let me come down, let me help you guys. Finally told Bruno, I was like, Bruno, when you come to our set, this is the first time you're coming to work and you're celebrated, man. Like, we're celebrating you. Like, so much of this revolves around you. So welcome to set. Would you like to say anything to your crew?
Well, I'm just honored and proud to be here. And this guy and me go back since whatever was it 85, 84, whatever. We were just, I mean, his dad was a dad to me. He's the brother I never had in life. And his mom is a mother to me. Because I've been on my own since I was 13 years old. Now I'm almost 25. So, so I just appreciate being here. Whatever I can do to help y'all when I'm around. I'm from here practically my whole life. So if anybody just needs to know information, where to go, what to get, just call me. Everybody's got my number. And if not, I put it on the bathroom wall anyway. Money can't buy the real one. Compared to the one you got on the show. So that's great.
Oh my God. Like Mama said, misspelled and everything. It just bees that way sometimes. So where is that taking?
That's Channel 5 in the parking lot.
Where's this? Yeah.
Channel 5? What was that yesterday? Yeah. I just said, okay. They come out and get something you couldn't get.
This is awesome. Thank you, man. Yeah, I appreciate it.
All right, there we are, and that is that. I'm going to go ahead and get this off of here and delete that and get that back and get back to normal. And that's a picture, still picture of you. And then that's Laza's. We're going to get rid of that. And then
There
we're
we
back
are.
on. There we are. All right, I had to go back and delete all the stuff that I had on there. Anyway, he wants to hear the story about when The Rock give you a car or truck.
Yeah, well, he didn't owe me nothing. Because when you're friends with somebody, you don't do it for something in return, okay? When Rock was 14 or maybe 15, I bought him his first vehicle. It was an old crappy one. It wasn't, nothing you'd be proud of. But when you're 14 or 15 and you have your own vehicle, it's a big deal to a kid, any kid, And I bought him his first vehicle up in Nashville. And I didn't think no more about it. And then all these years later, I'm over on the set of Young Rock in Atlanta. They filmed season 1 in Atlanta. And I was over there meeting with Rock about some business and stuff. And, I was going to, help being consultant on the program, whatever. They even give me a little bit part as an audience member on one show just for fun. But anyway, they were doing an interview with me for like Access Hollywood or Entertainment Tonight or something. I can't remember which show. And me and Dwayne are having a conversation. This truck comes driving into the scene. And I'm saying to myself, oh, crap. Now we're going to do this all over again. Some goof drove it into the scene. Well, little did I know that was the whole setup to give me the truck. And it's sitting out in front of my house right now. Brand new, beautiful Ford F-150. I could never even think of trying to finance or whatever. I'm not poor or nothing, but that's something that's like high level, That truck's going to last me the rest of my life. I broke down and cried. He didn't owe me that. He's been nothing but there for me since day one, ever. And it ain't the truck. It's just him as a person that we go back since, it's funny, and Dwayne will tell you this if you ever meet him. When we first was running around together, I was the star. Not to his level. I'm not pretending I was. But as Greg will tell you, anybody, back before the WWF took over the world, every part of the country had their own territory.
Yep.
And you were the only wrestlers they seen. Back before, what WWF did, you didn't see no other wrestling except what was here in Memphis. And I guess people lived in Portland, Oregon. They only seen the Portland territory. And so on and so on and so on. So I was the big, huge star where we went, oh, my God, it's downtown Bruno, Jesus Christ. Oh, my God. And Dwayne would ride around with me and think, wow, look at Bruno, he's the big star. Now who's the big star?
Yeah, right. Tell the story about the crackhead that was in the back seat.
Yeah, that car that I bought him his first car. It was downtown Nashville on Lower Broadway. Now Lower Broadway's all nice restaurants, Hooters and Planet Hollywood or whatever. But back then, it was like Beale Street used to be in Memphis. It was nothing but, run down beer joints and gin mills, prostitutes, junkies, bums, drunks, whatever. So a combination of all those, low lives I just mentioned owned this beat up old Ford Thunderbird. And Dwayne talked me into buying it for him. So I did. Because they were wanting to sell it, I guess, to buy more dope or whatever. These people that make big decisions in life. So, anyways, he's driving up the road in it, and I'm following behind him because the taillights wouldn't come on. There was no license tag. He had no license. He was like 14. So, we were both making really good decisions at that time, too, right? So, we're driving up there on Broadway in Nashville, and he pulls over to the side. I said, don't tell me that damn car doesn't give out already. No, a crackhead was asleep in the back seat under a bunch of trash and newspapers and stuff, and Dwayne had to put him out. That's a true story.
Good Lord.
True
I can
story,
only
100%
imagine.
true. 100% true.
Oh, yeah. I have no doubt. Do you know a wrestler named Ace Darling?
Yeah, he's a super guy, great guy. He lives up
I'm
in
gonna put the comment up on the screen. Laza over in Australia, he said, nearly forgot pro wrestler Ace Darling told me to say hi to Bruno for him. I talked to Ace on Facebook.
Well, tell Ace I said hello. He lives up in Freehold, New Jersey, and he's an absolutely super guy.
There you go. All right, we got that out of the way, and I cannot think of anything really outside of, well, this is going to be one that is probably going to pop up, throw it up here. It says Bruno attacks. And you can get a story on this, and we'll wrap it up, I guess, with you, so you can get ready for your next one.
Yeah, let me tell you. Well, do you want me to wait till after you show it,
or you can just go ahead and talk. Everybody can hear you.
Excuse me. The deal was, there was a guy named Larry Burton that came in and took over as general manager of the Memphis Wrestling. All of a sudden, no more Dave Brown or anybody, because he saw Tony Friedman, the guy that I beat up. Tony Friedman says he just wants to be on TV. He'll do it for free if he can ring announce at the house show. He said, Bruno, we're not going to pay you to be on TV anymore because Bill Russell, he'll do it for free if he can be at the house show. It just, Bruno, we're not going to pay you for this. We're not going to pay you for that. Well, I do this for a living. These guys that do it for a hobby. I'm sorry. Long story short, Larry Burton goes, well, Bill Russell is much better than you anyway. And Larry Burton had already been pushing everybody's buttons. I couldn't take it no more. I slugged him and I was choking him. Lawler and Mike Samples pulled us apart. And then Burton, you're fired, you're fired, you're fired. So before I left, I looked over, there was Tony Friedman out there announcing at the table. And I told Lawler, I said, I'd like to go out there right now on live TV and beat the shit out of him. Lawler goes, I dare you. I says, hold my glasses. And then that's what happened. And I put a knot on his head, looked like a dadgum, like we should say, a goose egg.
I bet you did. Let's see. Get back into both screens. And Al Tuttle wants to know something. He says, could Bruno tell us a story about Sid that we might have never heard?
Probably. I'm going to leave it at that.
That sounds like a good idea. Lonely me and Bruno.
No. On a serious note, let me just for real say this. The big, mean, nasty Sid Vicious, whatever, he befriended a young man that lived in his neighborhood. He doesn't live there anymore. God bless. Sid's not with us anymore. But at the time over in Marion where Sid lived, there was a young man down the street from him named Seth Patel who had Down syndrome. Very nice young man, sweetest young man you could ever meet in your life. And he wasn't severe. He could talk just, normally, you know what I mean? He wasn't, some, God, bless them, are so severe they can't even communicate or whatever, but Seth wasn't in that manner. He could communicate, he could talk, he could function as an adult. And Sid took him under his wing. and he took him all over the place to different wrestling events, took him to other places, was just really good to him and just treated him like gold. And a lot of people might not know that about Sid, but he really was very good to that young man with, I don't know what the proper, developmental disability or whatever the proper thing to say. I don't, but he was very good to him, and that says a lot for Sid or for anybody.
Well, that's like with a lot of guys that are in the business and stuff that are heels or whatever the case may be, or great big bad guys or whatever you want to call it. They don't know what's behind the scenes at home. So I mean, they're different type person. They act like they act. Some of them do it for real because they're just jerks.
Right.
But most of them are completely different at home and the way they treat other people outside the business.
Well, yeah, I agree. For example, a dear friend of mine who's no longer with us, but Eddie Gilbert, great guy, one of my best friends in the business. And, on TV or at the ring or whatever, he could be the biggest jerk you ever, met in your life. But in real life, he's a super guy, God, I mean, so many. I mean, Eddie's brother, Doug Gilbert, very good friend of mine. Same thing, great guy. But when he's a bad guy, he's the biggest jerk you ever met in your life, And I consider myself a nice person. I hope y'all can sense that. But when I'm a bad guy, I try to be the biggest jerk there ever was. Because here's the thing. Bruno Lauer, that's my real name. But when I go to the ring as a manager, as a bad guy, downtown Bruno is not Bruno Lauer. It's a separate person altogether. It's not who I am. It's who downtown Bruno is. And when that final bell rings and I walk back through the curtain, I'm back to Bruno Lauer. But for 45 minutes or an hour or 2 hours or however long I have to be out there for different matches, I'm downtown Bruno. And that's the thing. That's pretty much what everybody in the business, I think, almost.
Pretty much. That's pretty right on. Got a little joke for you, Bruno. What is the benefit of taking a prostitute on a date? You can drop them off anywhere. That come from Laza. Why did the pro wrestling manager go to therapy? They had too many issues with their pro wrestlers.
Okay. I think we're reaching out.
Yeah, right. But anyway, that pretty much is the show for tonight, I suppose. It's almost 8:00. I know you got to start getting ready for your other podcast that you got to do here shortly.
Right.
Is there anything that you would like to say to everybody out there watching, or is there any more questions or anything real quick? If you do, make a comment real quick.
Yeah, if there's any questions, and while we're finding out about that or not, I'll say this to everybody. Being self-serving, I guess, or whatever. But first of all, great, you too. Forward this link, or however you do it, on Facebook, Downtown Bruno Bookings and Appearances. My dear friend Daniel Matthews runs that. And anybody that wants to keep up with what I'm doing, or if you want to book me for a podcast or an event or a signing or a special referee, reach out to Downtown Bruno Bookings and Appearances. I have zero social media, but my dear friend Daniel Matthews runs that Facebook page for me. So anytime you want to deal with me in any kind of business manner, reach out. And anytime if I do something with you, forward it to that page, and he'll put it on there. And just other than that, just everybody, thank you for tuning in and keep supporting Wayne's World. I think this is a great podcast. I'm having a good time on it. Once we finally got on it,
Yeah,
it was just like pulling teeth. I when it comes to being tech savvy, I've got about as much brains as a parakeet. So it's amazing that somehow we lucked up on making this happen. So.
Well, and the funny part is, it was last second. All of it came together, and everything just clicked and started working.
Right. So I'll leave everybody with this before I say goodbye. I'm sure you'll do some parting things after I leave, but I'll say this: everybody remember this: tough times don't last. Tough people do. It's like Mama says. It bees that way sometimes.
And there you go. It is Downtown Bruno, guys. Round of applause out there for him, guys. We made it work. We made it happen. I do have Daniel's graphics and stuff, but I do need to download yours for the downtown bookings and stuff, and I'll just have to go on there and click and download it. But I will start publicizing all that too.
Well, I'm going to say goodnight to you, Gregory Allen, and everybody else out there. God bless, and I will be in touch soon.
Very soon. You're more than welcome to come back anytime you'd like, Bruno. I know, like I said, you stay busy. Like yesterday, I believe it was, or last night, the mayor called you.
Yeah, a lot of people don't know I'm an elected official here in Walls, Mississippi. I'm on the board of aldermen, and the election is coming up in June, so we might get back on here then and try to do some fundraising around April.
Sure will.
So I can buy some T-shirts and key rings and signs. And,
now, is all the information? Like, you still have T-shirts and stuff that you sell, right?
Yeah, you can reach out through Dan for that as well.
Right. Okay. I will make sure I try to get all the information. I'll contact him and get him to send me everything. I'm sure his graphics are probably better than what I'm downloading, so we'll do that. All right, Bruno. Well, I do appreciate it, man. I
Good night,
thank
everybody.
you very, very much. Like Mama says, it bees that way sometimes. All right. Good night, Bruno. All right, guys. There was Downtown Bruno. Absolutely great. I loved it. It worked out wonderful. I hope everybody out there enjoyed it. I don't know who all is watching. I know Laza is watching. I know Al Tuttle is still here. I'm sure PJ is still here. And I've got 4 now. So that would be 1, 2, 3, 4. Somebody else is still watching. I don't know who. But anyway, guys, we are fixing to get ready to get out of here. Hope everybody out there enjoyed the little special with Downtown Bruno. I hope you enjoyed the jokes. I hope you enjoyed the stories. And more importantly, I give credit to Laza. He is wonderful, and I do appreciate him doing the music and everything for that. Now I have to change all this and try to work on a new opening for Wayne's World, which I may or may not. I did like the music that he done for the opening Wayne's World, but it was okay, but I didn't like it, but I did like it. It goes both ways. But anyway, I want to say thank you to him for his contribution. He did put all that music and stuff together for the entrance, and I do thank him very, very much. Matter of fact, I'm going to open my video storage back up, and I am going to play this one more time. I liked it that much.
Yo, it's Downtown Bruno, the one and only. I heard about the show Wayne's World, so crank it up, let the music flow. Downtown Bruno's in the house, let the party grow. Got a story to tell, gotta make it roll. With a microphone in my hand, I take control. Wayne's World, party on top, wrestling. Downtown Bruno's in the house, crank it up, crank it up. Wayne's World, party on top, wrestling. Because it's Wayne's World, party on top, wrestling. I heard about the show Wayne's World, so crank it up, let the music flow. Downtown Bruno's in the house, let the party grow. Got a story to tell, gotta make it bold. With a microphone in my hand, I take control. Wayne's World, party on top, wrestling. Because it's 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 Wayne's World, party on top, wrestling. Whoa. Because it's Wayne's World. wrestling. Whoa. Because it's Wayne's World, Wayne's World, party on top wrestling. Whoa.
All right, guys, that is Downtown Bruno's show. We are done with that. And I am going to come back on the screen and go ahead and get all of this other stuff back off of here before I accidentally click it again. Hope everybody out there enjoyed it, guys, and hope everybody out there has a great weekend. And Al Tuttle also made the comment, hope everyone has a great weekend. Be safe. Definitely be safe. And Liza, I meant to ask him that question, and I forgot. Liza wanted to know if he had the Pope's autograph. He probably does. Bruno collects some weird things, and that would definitely be something weird to collect. But anyway, PJ says, great song, great video. Thank you very much, PJ. I do appreciate it. And Liza says, humbly appreciate it, PJ. All right, guys, we are going to go ahead and get out of here and call it a night. I hope everybody out there has a great weekend. Hope you have an absolutely safe weekend. And we will see y'all again next Thursday night for Wayne's World out there, guys. This is Greg Wayne saying so long, everybody.